A family mystery. The Clarkson family lived in a big house in the countryside. It was a beautiful place with a large garden and tall trees. But inside the house, things were not always happy. Molly Clarkson, the mother of the family, was rich and strong. She loved her house and did not want to leave. Her children and relatives had their own problems, and sometimes there were arguments in the family. One day the family gathered for a special dinner. They ate, talked, and had a long night together. But the next morning, something terrible happened. Now the police must find out what really happened that night. As they ask questions, family secrets begin to appear. What was Molly hiding? Who was telling the truth? And who knows more than they say? The Clarkson family's peaceful life is over, and nothing will ever be the same again. Chapter 1. Mother Comes Home. The Clarkson family lived in the countryside near Cambridge. Their house was big and old, with a beautiful garden, many flowers, and tall trees. The closest village was half a mile away, and the river was about a mile from their home. One Thursday morning in July, Jackie came in from the garden. She was tall and fat, about 30 years old. Even though it was the hottest day of the year, she wore a brown skirt and a yellow shirt. Feeling thirsty, she went to the kitchen for a glass of water. Just then, the phone rang. "Cambridge, 1379, Jackie answered. "Hello, this is Diane. I want to talk to Mother." "Mother isn't here," Jackie said. "She's at the doctor's." "Why? Is she sick?" "No, she's fine," Jackie replied. "Why are you calling? Are you coming this weekend? Mother wants everyone to be here." "Yes, I want to come," Diane said, "but I don't have money for the train ticket." Jackie frowned. "No money? Mother always gives you money." Diane sighed. "This call is expensive. Just tell Mother, please. I need the money." Jackie hung up the phone. She felt angry because Diane always asked for money. She took a cigarette from her bag and started to smoke. Diane was 20 years old, the youngest in the family. She lived in London, renting one small room in a big house. She wanted to be a singer and had a beautiful voice, but she could never find work. Jackie went back to the kitchen and started making sandwiches. Just then, the back door opened and her mother, Molly, walked in. "It's so hot," Molly said, taking off her hat and putting it on the table. She was tall and dark-haired with beautiful eyes. Two big black dogs followed her into the kitchen, running straight to her. She sat down and put her hands on their heads. Jackie placed the sandwiches on the table. "Mother," she said, "Diane called. She wants money for her train ticket." Molly closed her eyes for a moment. Then she stood up. "This afternoon I want you to clean the house for the weekend," she said. "Oh, and please go to the village later and get my tablets." "Yes, Mother," Jackie replied. Molly started to leave. "Mother, wait a minute," Jackie said. "Peter Hobbs came here this morning. He's very angry with you about that letter." Molly stopped. "He lost his job, Mother." "Why did you write to his office?" "He wants to talk to you." "I don't want to talk to him," Molly said, opening the door. "But, Mother, you don't understand. He's only 17, and it was his first job. He's very, very angry. He said he's going to kill you." Molly did not answer. She simply walked out of the room and closed the door behind her. Chapter 2. A Dinner Full of Secrets. It was Saturday evening at 7 o'clock. Jackie stood by the window. A car drove slowly to the front door and stopped. A tall man with white hair got out. It was Albert, the husband of Molly's sister. "Here's Uncle Albert," Jackie said. "Always late?" She left the room and opened the front door. Albert walked in and went straight to Molly. "Oh dear, I'm very late, I'm sorry," Albert said. 50 years old today. What a wonderful dress." Molly did not smile. "Thank you, Albert. We're all getting older." She wore a long black dress, and her 2 black dogs sat beside her. "Everyone is here now. Let's go to dinner," she said. Everyone stood up and went to the dining table. "The table looks nice, Jackie. What beautiful flowers," Diane said. Diane was a beautiful girl with long black hair and dark blue eyes. She wore a long red dress. Albert sat next to Roger, Molly's son. Roger was her second child and lived in Cambridge in a big, expensive house. "Someone called Peter stopped me on the road," Albert said. "Who is he?" "He seems very angry with you, Molly." "That's Peter Hobbs from the house across the road," Jackie said quickly, glancing at Molly. "He lost his job last week, and he's angry with everyone." "It's Molly he doesn't like," Albert said. Molly said nothing. Everyone started eating. "How is Aunt Annie?" Jackie asked. "She's much worse now," Albert said. "She stays in bed all the time. She needs a nurse 24 hours a day." "I'm sorry," Molly said. Albert stopped eating and looked at Molly. "It's very difficult and very expensive, you know. Annie feels very unhappy because you don't visit her, Molly. She loves you very much. You are her little sister, you know." Molly closed her eyes for a moment. "I know that, Albert. I'm 50 years old, but I am always her little sister. Well, we can talk about it later." Albert laughed. "Oh, yes, we can talk later. It's always later with you, Molly. Always tomorrow. Never today." Jackie watched her mother. Molly looked angry at Albert. Molly never liked talking about Annie. She didn't visit her because she was very sick. "That's a beautiful dress, Diane. Is it new?" Jackie asked, trying to change the subject. "Thank you, Jackie. Yes, it's new and very expensive. I bought it on Wednesday," Diane said with a smile. "All your things are expensive," Jackie said, remembering the phone call about Diane's train ticket. "I don't like cheap things," Diane said, "and I'm going to need more money soon. I want to go to America. Can you help me, Roger?" "Oh, no," Roger said. "Nobody wants to help you, Diane. You don't like working, we all know that, but we all want you to get a job." Diane laughed. "It doesn't matter, Roger. I don't need your help. Mother always helps me. Mother loves me best." She smiled, but her eyes were cold. Jackie looked at her mother. Molly's face was pale. Jackie did not understand. Was her mother afraid of Diane? Jackie wanted her mother to be happy tonight. "Would you like some more meat, Uncle Albert?" Jackie asked. "Roger, can you give everyone more to drink?" Roger got up and poured more wine for everyone. "This is good wine," he said. For the first time, Molly smiled. "Yes, your father loved this wine. He often drank it." "Yes," Albert said, dull looking at Molly. "Expensive, too." "Would you like to meet Mr. Briggs this weekend, Roger?" Jackie asked quickly. "He's the new man at the farm. He wants to meet you." "Briggs? Briggs?" Molly said, suddenly angry. "Don't talk to me about that man. I don't like him. He wants half my garden for his farm. He needs more land, he says. I don't want him in my house. He's always dirty, and he has bad teeth." Jackie stood up and grabbed her bag. "Excuse me, I want a cigarette." "Cigarettes. Always a cigarette in your mouth," Molly said. "I don't like it. Cigarettes aren't good for you." Jackie felt angry but said nothing. She just wanted her mother to be happy tonight, but it was very difficult. Roger took another sip of wine. "Well, Mother, perhaps Mr. Briggs is right. The garden is very big, you know," he said. "It's a lot of work for you. The house is big, too. You're 50 now. You need to be more careful." "Roger, I don't need a nurse, you know. I work in the garden every day. I feel happy there." Molly stood up. "I know you all want my money. You come here for a free dinner. You don't want to see me. You don't love me. You want my house and my money. Well, you can all wait. Nobody is getting more money from me, not before I die." "Don't say that, Mother," Jackie cried. Molly walked across the room to the door. "I feel ill now. I'm going upstairs to bed." Molly left the room. Nobody moved. Then Diane spoke quietly. "One day I'm going to kill that woman." Roger looked at Diane but said nothing. Albert nodded slowly. "Ill? She's angry, that's all," he said. "Molly always gets angry about money. Why can't she be good to her sister? Annie's going to die soon. Molly knows that." Jackie finished her cigarette and stood up. "Would everyone like some coffee? Come into the kitchen and let's drink it there." Chapter 3. A Sad Morning. Early the next morning, the house was very quiet. Suddenly, a loud cry came from Molly's room, next to Roger's. Roger opened his eyes and looked at the clock. It was almost 7 o'clock. He got out of bed and quietly opened his door. At the same time, the door to Molly's room opened and Diane came out. Her face was pale. "Roger, it's Mother. I brought her some coffee and I found her dead. She's dead. Dead in her bed," Diane cried. Roger hurried to the door of his mother's room and looked inside. The window was open, but the room was warm. Molly lay on the bed, one hand under her head. Roger walked over and touched her arm. It was cold. On the small table next to the bed, there was a hot cup of coffee and an empty cup. "I'm going to call the doctor," Diane said. "She's dead," Roger said slowly, his face turning pale. "Mother is dead." Diane walked to the door. "I'm going to phone the doctor," she repeated. "Wait," Roger called. "Let's tell the family first." "Family? Nobody loved Mother," Diane shouted, running downstairs. Roger slowly followed her downstairs and stood by the telephone. Diane picked up the phone. "Dr. Pratt, this is Diane Clarkson. It's my mother. She's dead. Can you come quickly?" She put the phone down and turned to Roger. "It isn't real, Roger. Mother is dead. Daddy died last winter, and now Mother—" Diane began to cry. "Don't cry, Diane," Roger said. "Let's go upstairs and tell Uncle Albert and Jackie." "No, you tell them," Diane shouted. "Nobody loved Mother. You aren't even sad. Look at you. You just want her money." Roger felt angry. He wanted to hit Diane, but he controlled himself. "Be quiet," he said. "And what about you? You didn't love Mother. You wanted her money too. Don't forget that." "It's true," Diane whispered. "Oh, I can't stay in this house. I need to get out. I'm going to the river with the dogs." "No," Roger said firmly. "The doctor is coming, and I want you here." Diane said nothing. She went into the kitchen, and at once the dogs got up and ran to her. "Beautiful dogs. Daddy loved you and Mother loved you. Now I'm going to love you too." She opened the back door and went out with the dogs. Roger stood by the phone, not moving. He thought to himself, "It's true. I do want the money. I needed it, and now I'm rich. Life will be easier now. But Mother, why didn't I love her more? And now she's gone. Slowly, Roger went back upstairs to get dressed before Dr. Pratt arrived. Dr. Pratt was a short, fat man with very little hair. He was the family doctor and knew all the Clarksons very well. He went straight upstairs to look at Molly's body. Then he looked carefully at the hot coffee and the empty cup on the table next to her bed. "I'm sorry, Roger," he said. "Where is Diane? She was the one who called me." "She went out with the boss," Roger said. "She was angry with me. Angry with everyone." Dr. Pratt said nothing for a moment. Then he spoke. "This is going to be difficult. I have to call the police, Roger." "The police? Why? What's wrong?" Roger asked, confused. "I don't know. Your mother wasn't sick. I saw her on Thursday, and she was very healthy. So why did she die? I don't understand, and I want to find out." Roger walked to the window and looked outside. It was a beautiful summer morning. The sky was blue, the garden was green, and everything was peaceful. His mother loved this garden, but Tom Briggs wanted it, and Roger wanted it too. Suddenly, Roger felt sick. "Your mother took sleeping tablets," Dr. Pratt said. "Did you know that? On Thursday, she got a new bottle of tablets, but I can't find it anywhere in her room." "I didn't know," Roger said. "All right, let's go downstairs and you can call the police." Roger went into the kitchen and made some coffee. Just then, Diane walked in with the dogs. "Roger," she said, "look, I'm sorry. I was angry and said things I didn't mean." "It doesn't matter," Roger said. "Here, have some coffee. Dr. Pratt is calling the police. Did you know Mother took sleeping tablets? The bottle is missing." "What?" "I don't understand." Diane took the coffee and started drinking, her eyes looking big and dark. Just then, Dr. Pratt walked in. "The police are coming right away," he said. "Diane, I'm very sorry about your mother." "Dr. Pratt, I need to tell you about last night." Everyone was very angry. "Be quiet," Roger said quickly. "Diane never thinks before she speaks," he thought angrily. Diane ignored him. "Last night, Mother went to bed early because everyone—" "Don't tell me," Dr. Pratt interrupted. "You can tell the police." Roger's face turned red. Suddenly, he felt afraid. The police are going to talk to everyone and ask a lot of questions, he thought. And they will want answers. This is going to be very difficult. Roger finished his coffee and stood up. "I'm going upstairs," he said. "I need to tell Uncle Albert and Jackie about Mother and about the police." Chapter 4. The Police Investigation. Early in the morning, the police arrived at the Clarkson house. There were many officers. Some carried cameras and went upstairs to Molly's room. 2 detectives stayed in the kitchen to talk to Dr. Pratt. The family waited in the sitting room. It was another hot day, and the windows were open. The dogs sat quietly at Diane's feet. Nobody spoke. Jackie smoked a cigarette. They waited for a long time. Suddenly the door opened and the 2 detectives walked in. "Good morning. I am Detective Inspector Walsh, and this is Sergeant Foster," the inspector said. He did not smile. He was a big man in an old black suit, wearing a black hat and coat, even in the heat. He always felt cold, so he never took off his coat. "Last night, someone put sleeping tablets in Mrs. Clarkson's hot milk," Walsh said. "We are going to question everyone, and we need a room." Roger stood up. "I'm Roger Clarkson. You can use my father's old office. Follow me." He led them to a small office with a table and some chairs. Roger opened the window to let in air. "I want to talk to your uncle, Albert King, first," Inspector Walsh said. He took off his hat and coat and sat behind the table. "Of course," Roger said, then left to get Albert. Sergeant Foster stood by the door. He was young, very tall, with black hair and a friendly smile. But today he was not happy. It was Sunday, and he usually played tennis. He was one of the best players at the Cambridge Tennis Club. Albert entered the room and sat down. "I'm going to ask you some questions, Mr. King," said Inspector Walsh. "Sergeant Foster will write down everything." Albert looked at his feet. Yes, that's your job, I understand." "Tell me about last night," Walsh said. "You were angry with Mrs. Clarkson." Albert looked up. "Yes, I was. Everyone was angry. Roger was angry. Diane wanted money for America. And then there's Tom Briggs. He wanted part of the garden for his farm. Molly had money, but I needed help too. My wife, Annie, is very sick. I told Molly this. And what happened next? Molly got angry and went upstairs. We went to the kitchen for coffee. Jackie wanted everyone to say goodnight to Molly. She lives here, so she wanted Molly to be happy. Roger said no. He was too angry. Did you go to Molly's room? Yes. I was tired, so I went up first. I asked her for money again, but she said no. She wouldn't help her own sister. Albert stopped talking and put his hand over his eyes. Inspector Walsh watched him. "Did you hear any noises after you went to bed?" "I think everyone went into Molly's room to say goodnight. Later, I heard someone, maybe a man, maybe a woman, going downstairs. That was around midnight. Thank you, Mr. King. You can go now." Albert left the room. Inspector Walsh leaned back. "What time is it? I'm hungry. We're learning a lot, but I need some coffee." "Shall I go to the kitchen?" Sergeant Foster asked. "No, later. Let's talk to Jackie Clarkson next." Jackie walked in and sat down. She looked at her hands and said nothing. Inspector Walsh suddenly said, "We found the empty bottle of your mother's sleeping tablets in Diane's room." He waited. Jackie's face did not change, and she did not answer. "Did your mother get her tablets from the village shop?" Walsh asked. "Yes. Mother took a sleeping tablet every night, so she needed a lot. Sometimes she got them, sometimes I did. On Thursday, I asked Peter Hobbs to get them. He lives across the road and often goes to the village on his bike." "I see. Your mother wanted to stay in this house. How about you? Did you want to move?" Jackie looked up briefly, then back at her hands. "This is Mother's house. I loved her. She was good to me." "Did you go to her room last night?" "Yes, everyone did. Diane made hot milk and took it to her. Mother always drank a cup before bed." Inspector Walsh put his hands behind his head. Jackie was very quiet. "What did your mother say?" Jackie opened her bag and took out a cigarette. "Can I smoke?" "Of course. This is your house," Walsh said, watching her. "What did your mother say?" he repeated. Jackie lit her cigarette. "She wanted to go downstairs again. She remembered the dogs. She wanted to get their dinner. I went to my room and she went downstairs. What time was that? I don't remember. Maybe around midnight. And the cup of hot milk? It was on the table by her bed. Did you need your mother's money?" "No, Inspector. Money isn't important to me." "There are more important things," Jackie said quietly. "Well, your Uncle Albert wanted money. Tom Briggs wanted the garden, and you wanted nothing? Jackie finished her cigarette and looked up. Her eyes were suddenly angry. Don't forget Peter Hobbs. He lost his job because of Mother. He wanted to kill her, you know. And what about Diane? You found the empty bottle in her bag. Inspector Walsh listened carefully. We will talk to everyone, Miss Clarkson. Jackie was silent for a moment. Then she asked, Would you like some sandwiches and coffee, Inspector? Walsh's face lit up. Ah, yes, please. I would love sandwiches and coffee. Jackie left the room. Inspector Walsh watched her. Why was she suddenly so angry? He thought. The room was silent again. Chapter 5. The Inspector's Thoughts. After drinking coffee and eating sandwiches, Inspector Walsh called Roger Clarkson into the office. Roger sat down, and the inspector started asking questions immediately. Now, Mr. Clarkson, why was your mother angry with you last night? This house is too big, Roger said. It was a lot of work for Mother. I wanted her to move, but she loved this house and garden. She didn't want to leave. Tell me about your job, Mr. Clarkson. Your mother is dead, and now you're rich. Do you need money? Roger's face changed suddenly. He looked afraid. What are you saying? I didn't kill my mother. Yes, I need money, that's true. A friend and I want to build 10 houses here in this garden. We can sell them for a lot of money. So I wanted Mother to sell this house. That's true, but Mr. Briggs wanted half the garden too. For his farm, you know. Inspector Walsh moved a pencil on the table. Tell me what happened upstairs. Did you go to your mother's room? Yes, I did. I wanted to say good night to her. Did you talk about the house again? Yes, I did. Again, she said no. She loved this house and didn't want to sell it. Inspector Walsh watched Roger carefully. I see. We found an empty bottle of sleeping tablets in Diane's room. Roger's face did not change. Oh, someone put them there. Diane didn't kill my mother. I know that. She found the body. Very well. I would like to speak to Diane next. Roger stood up and left the room. Inspector Walsh stood up and put his hands in his pockets. He walked to the window and looked at the trees outside. Why is Roger afraid? He wondered. Is it important? He turned to Sergeant Foster. Tomorrow morning, go to Roger Clarkson's office. You have the name, right? Yes, Inspector, Foster said, writing it down. Ask questions about him. His job, his friends, his money. Sergeant Foster nodded. Then Inspector Walsh smiled. A good day for tennis, Sergeant? Sergeant Foster laughed. Don't say that. It's not easy sitting here looking at the sun. Just then Diane walked in and sat down. She smiled at Sergeant Foster. I saw you at the tennis club last month, I think. You play very well. Sergeant Foster's face turned red. Inspector Walsh looked at him and said, Oh, yes. Sergeant Foster is a very fast and exciting player. Diane smiled again, and Foster's face became even redder. Miss Clarkson, Inspector Walsh said, I want you to talk about last night. Diane stopped smiling. Oh, I can talk about last night. I can't stop talking about it. Everyone was angry. Mother went to bed early, and I made her hot milk. We were all in the kitchen when Peter Hobbs came in. He nearly broke the back door down. She paused. Yes? Walsh asked. He was very angry about a letter. He wanted to kill Mother. Are you going to talk to him? We're going to talk to everyone. Good. Tom Briggs came into the kitchen too. Are you going to talk to him? I'm asking the questions, Miss Clarkson. When did you take the milk upstairs? I went up after Roger. She stopped for a moment, then continued. I didn't like my mother, Inspector. She killed my father, you know. Last winter, after Christmas, she drove the car into a tree. My father died. Inspector Walsh watched Diane carefully. I see. So you wanted to kill your mother? Diane laughed. I wanted to kill her, but I didn't. I can tell you a lot about this family, Inspector. Everyone wanted Mother to die. Uncle Albert wanted her money for his wife, Annie. My brother, he needs a lot of money. He has a big house and an expensive car. And Jackie, do you know Jackie didn't like Mother either? A long time ago, a nice boy worked here. He was the gardener. Jackie loved him, but Mother said no. A gardener was not a good husband for a Clarkson girl. Inspector Walsh listened quietly. Very interesting, he thought. But is it important? Maybe. What a happy family the Clarksons were. Then he said, We found the empty bottle of sleeping tablets in your room. He watched her face closely. Diane stood up suddenly, her face full of anger. What? I didn't put it there. I'm not listening to this. She ran out of the room. Inspector Walsh smirked. Well, 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 he said. She likes you, Sergeant. You need to be careful. Sergeant Foster laughed, but his face was still red. Inspector Walsh leaned forward. Someone put sleeping tablets in Molly's hot milk. The whole family was in the kitchen last night. Peter Hobbs and Tom Briggs were there too. One of them killed Molly. He grabbed his hat and coat. Come on. We need to talk to Peter Hobbs and Tom Briggs. Then he smiled again. But first, let's get more coffee and a sandwich. I'm hungry again. Chapter 6. Inside Tom's house, they found Peter Hobbs lying under his old green car. Slowly he got up. He was wearing old blue trousers and a dirty orange shirt. We want to talk about Mrs. Clarkson, Inspector Walsh said. Peter looked up at him. Oh, it's about her, he said. I know she's dead. Someone in the village told me. Why did you go to the Clarkson house last night? Walsh asked. Jackie told me to come and wai Roger, Peter said. Ah, you're angry, she said. Come and tell Roger. So I went to the house, but nobody opened the door. I knocked loudly until they let me in. Mrs. Clarkson wasn't there, but I told Roger. I told them all. Peter hit the car with his hand. I wanted to kill that woman, he shouted. I lost my first job because of her. Last month I had some trouble with the police, and she wrote to my office about it. That's why they fired me. I wanted to kill her. Calm down, Walsh said. What happened next? Jackie gave me some coffee, but Roger didn't listen to me, Peter said angrily. Then Tom Briggs came in. He wanted to talk to Roger too, but Roger didn't care. Jackie looked very unhappy. She almost cried. After that, I went home, that's all. I see. Now tell me about the tablets. You went to the village on Thursday? Tablets? Oh, yes, I remember. Jackie asked me to get her mother's tablets from the village. I go there on my bicycle. This car doesn't work. Thank you, Peter. That's all. Peter laughed angrily. That's all? You're coming back. I know it. I know how the police work. Tom Briggs Bridges' farm was half a mile away, near the river. It was small and old, and the house looked dirty. "Not much money here," Inspector Walsh said as they arrived. Tom was a young man, about 30 years old, with dirty hands and bad teeth. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Excuse me, I'm eating my dinner." "We can wait. Finish your dinner," Inspector Walsh said. "We need to ask a few questions about last night." "Come inside and wait in the front room," Tom said, opening the door. Inspector Walsh looked around the front room. There was an old black-and-white television and some books on the table. A picture of a happy young girl with long brown hair sat on the table. Walsh looked at the picture for a long time. "Who is this girl?" he wondered. Tom Briggs came back into the room. "Finished?" Walsh asked. "Did you know Mrs. Clarkson is dead?" Tom sat down suddenly, looking shocked. "What? How did she die? When did it happen? I was there last night." "She died last night or early this morning." "What were you doing at the house?" Tom's face looked confused. "Me? Why are you asking me?" "I went there to see Roger. I'm losing money on this farm, and I need more land. I wanted half of Mrs. Clarkson's garden." "You went into the kitchen. What happened next? Can you remember?" Tom glanced at Sergeant Foster, then back at the inspector. "I remember very well. All the family was in the kitchen. Peter Hobbs was there too. I talked to Roger. He wanted his mother to sell the house, but he wanted the land for himself. He didn't want to give it to me. But now Mrs. Clarkson is dead. What happens now?" Inspector Walsh stood up and picked up the picture of the girl from the table. "Who's this?" he asked. Tom's face turned red. "Who? Oh, that's just a friend. It was a long time ago." The two detectives walked back to the Clarksons' house through the garden. It was beautiful, green and quiet. Inspector Walsh felt tired and hungry. Who killed Molly? He thought. He knew the answer now, but he still needed to ask a few more questions. "Let's go, Sergeant," he said, putting on his hat. "Tomorrow is a new day." Chapter 7. The Truth is Revealed. On Monday morning, Sergeant Foster went to Roger's office to ask some questions. Then he visited Albert's house and asked more. Meanwhile, Inspector Walsh stayed in his office, making phone calls about Peter Hobbs and Tom Briggs. After that, he had coffee and sandwiches. At 3 o'clock, the two detectives drove to the Clarkson house. "I want to see everyone," Inspector Walsh told Roger. The whole family sat in the sitting room. Inspector Walsh stood by the window looking at each person. "Someone killed Molly Clarkson," he said. "Someone put sleeping tablets in her hot milk. No one wanted to tell me the truth. But now I know what really happened, and I'm going to tell you." The two dogs walked in and sat by Diane's feet. The room was silent. The inspector looked at Albert. "Mr. King, your wife is very sick and needs a nurse. You told me that. But you didn't tell me about your house. You're selling it next month because you need money." Albert's face turned angry. "Last year I asked Molly's husband for money, and he said yes. But then he died in an accident." "Accident!" Diane shouted. "That was no accident. Mother killed Daddy because she wanted his money." "Now let's talk about you, Diane," Walsh said. "You visited your mother every month, and every time you took money from her. Last month, she gave you money for your television. This month, for your phone bill. Every time you told your mother it was no accident. You killed Daddy. I'll tell the police." She was afraid of you. That's why she kept giving you money. But on Thursday, she told Dr. Pratt that she would stop, and on Saturday, she died. You took the hot milk to her room. What did she say?" Diane started crying. "I loved Daddy. He gave me everything. He loved me. But Mother, she didn't love him and she didn't love me." She paused, and the dogs got up and walked to the door. "It's true, I took money from her. On Saturday, she told me, 'No more money.' I wanted to kill her, but I didn't." The dogs returned and sat at Diane's feet again. Inspector Walsh looked at Roger. Mr. Clarkson also needed money. Roger's face turned red. "Don't say it, please," he begged. "Roger lost his job last month. He has no money. But he has an expensive house and car. He loves expensive things." His sister stared at him, but Roger covered his face with his hands. "Don't talk to me." "It doesn't matter now," Diane said. "Mother is dead, and now we have a lot of money. You don't need a job anymore." Roger's face grew redder. "Be quiet, Diane." Peter Hobbs was very angry with Mrs. Clarkson. She wasn't kind to him. He bought the sleeping tablets. But did he put them in the hot milk? I don't think so. Tom Briggs wanted half the garden for his farm. He was in the kitchen that night. Did he put the tablets in the milk? I don't think so. Suddenly it started raining. For a moment, everyone watched the rain through the window. Jackie took out a cigarette and lit it. Inspector Walsh spoke again. "But someone wanted Peter Hobbs to come into the kitchen that night. She wanted everyone to see him and hear him." Roger looked confused. "She? I don't understand," he said, then stopped. Inspector Walsh walked away from the window and sat down. "I will tell you the truth now. Miss Clarkson, you wanted Peter Hobbs to come to the house that night. He was very angry with your mother because of her letter. He said, 'I want to kill her,' and you wanted everyone to hear that. Why?" Jackie's face turned pale. "That's not true. What about Diane? You found the empty bottle in her bag." Diane jumped up. "In my bag? Jackie! What are you saying?" "Be quiet and sit down," Walsh said. He looked at Jackie. "Yes, we found the bottle in Diane's room. But how do you know we found it in her bag?" "We never said that." Jackie froze. "You did before. You told me before." "No, we didn't. We only said we found the bottle in Diane's room. But you just told us it was in her bag. Sergeant Foster wrote everything down." Inspector Walsh stared at Jackie. "A long time ago, you loved Tom Briggs. He was the gardener here, but your mother didn't like him." Jackie held her head in her hands. "No, no. We found your old picture in Tom Briggs's house. You were younger with long hair. Last year, Tom came back and you still loved him. He loved you too, but he had no money. He wanted the garden for his farm. He needed money. He wanted you. But your mother said no. Always no." Inspector Walsh paused. "In the end, you wanted to kill her, and you did. Your mother went downstairs to feed the dogs. While she was gone, you put the sleeping tablets in her milk. Later, you put the empty bottle in Diane's bag." Jackie stood up. Her eyes were full of fear. "You don't understand," she cried. "Mother gave me nothing all those years. I only wanted to be happy, to be with Tom, that's all. I love Tom and he loves me, but Mother said no, always no." Then she began to cry. Nobody looked at her. Jackie left in a police car. Inspector Walsh watched her go, then walked slowly to his own car. He felt tired and hungry. He turned back and looked at the house one last time. "Well," he said to Sergeant Foster, "now Albert, Roger, and Diane have the money. They're rich, but are they going to be happy?" He got into the car. "Let's go," he said. "I'm hungry. I need a sandwich."